What's up, good peoples? It's me, Clifton Brandley, back for another episode of Manhood Monday. So, uh, this episode of Monday, it's gonna be a little different. Okay, so let me get you ready for it. You may not want to watch all of it, so I'm telling you now. This particular episode is not for clicks. It's not for likes. I'm probably not doing any of the YouTube / social media stuff that I'm supposed to do to get all of whatever. My goal is to get you this information. And I have a lot of it, but it's in here. Because I ain't even really I made a few notes, but I didn't really do notes because I just kind of want to talk to you about marriage. Because here's what I'm finding. People don't know what they're signing up for. I should have got this mic right. Hold on. Yeah, people don't know what they're signing up for. And you may be in that number, right? So as the thumbnail said, marriage is not for the weak. It's really not. It's really not, right? And so I can tell you this too. I'm probably not going to go on a straight line. I'm just going to share. And whoever this is for, that's who will get it, right? I'm going to share. May not go on a straight line. I may forget my train of thought. I don't know what to tell you. This is what I got today, and I hope that it helps you. Right. And this is really a continuation of what I was doing in my class last week. Because I talked to them about your partner is not your healer. Right. Your partner, it's not your partner's job to heal you. And so I talked about some things in there. So this is kind of a carryover from that. Because I deal with marriages every day. Not clients. But when I'm not dealing with clients, then I'm married. And I'm in a regular marriage. All right. So there's always stuff to talk about. Okay, so let's get to it, right? Because I don't really have a fancy intro. Here's my first question for you. Why did you get married? What made you get married? See, why am I asking that? I'm asking that so you'll ask yourself, so you'll think about it. Because what we want to say is, I got married because I love them, or because I wanted to spend my life with them, or because I've never felt this way before, right? As a matter of fact, all of those are terrible reasons to get married, but it's the reasons we get married. If you got married thinking that it's because you love your partner, that's not true. How you gonna tell me? Well, I'm finna show you why I can tell you, right? When you got married, why is my desk? When you got married, you were not roaming the earth looking for somebody to love. If you were, anybody would have done. Like, if you were just looking for somebody to love, it wouldn't matter what race they were. Wouldn't matter how tall they were. Wouldn't matter how fine they are. Wouldn't matter what kind of job they have. It wouldn't matter about their ethics. Because if you're just looking for somebody to love, just find somebody and love them. But that ain't why you got married. You got married because you wanted somebody to love you forever. Go ahead and admit it. Yes, you got married because you wanted somebody to love you forever. Now, I'm not judging you. That's why pretty much all of us get married. Here's the problem, though. We stay married, or at least we try. We try to stay married for that reason. And it's the wrong reason. Because it's prideful. That's why you're having trouble. You chose someone, and you thought that they were going to love you. Now, so in our conscious mind, I'm not perfect, and they're not perfect, so I didn't expect them to be perfect. That's what you say out of your mouth. But your behavior and how you handle them says they need to be perfect. And then when y'all talk about it, no, I don't need you to be perfect. But then you back to the behavior. And your behavior says, I need you to be perfect. But back to my question, why did you get married? People don't understand the purpose of marriage. Here's what I realized last week. So I've been working with different coaches and, work with a coach over here. Okay, that's not really what I want to work with that one. Okay, that's a little bit. Here's what I've discovered about the work that I do. Okay. This may help some of you if I think I want to work with Clifton. I want to work with Mr. Brantley, to help my marriage improve. After this, you may not. Let me tell you. Here's one difference, at least, that I've found between me and other people who do what I do. I'm not interested in coaching you on who gonna wash the dishes. I'm not interested in coaching you on negotiating chores and like it that I don't. Somebody sent me an email, a different. I don't know if they're a coach or not, but it's a couple. They doing their thing, and they sent an email because I'm on their list, and it said something about who gonna put the dishes away, and that's the topic they were talking about. And I said, you know what? That's the difference between me and them and folk like them. I'm not. If you get the foundational stuff, you can work that stuff out yourself. We can't partner on the chores. I need more help with the kids. I need more help around the house. All of that stuff, I call those fruit. Those aren't roots. All right. And so you start addressing the fruit. You got to address the roots so it won't produce those fruit. Okay. Don't worry. I'm gonna go deeper. I'm gonna tell you what I mean. Right. So you got married looking for love, or you came to marriage looking for happiness. You surprised, ain't you? That happiness don't live here. Oh, somebody done told you wrong. It don't live here. Happiness is your business. It's not your marriage business. Happiness is an individual phenomena. That's between you and God and what you do with your life. Now, if you want a happy marriage, I guess you can have two happy people and they get married and okay, but you don't come to marriage to be happy. It's not your partner's job to make your life better or happy. Now, I do believe, side note, uh, this is not a rule, but I do believe like if you're gonna get married, somebody should be getting an upgrade. I would prefer it be both of you in some area, like, but that ain't why we get married. Okay. So what's the purpose of marriage? Do you understand? First of all, because I teach from this perspective, right? Marriage is God's idea. Marriage is God's idea. If any of my if any of my Joy Tabernacle, Michael P. Williams folk on here, say something. Like I'm gonna hear you. Don't say something. Just make a comment. But marriage is God's idea. Being that marriage is God's idea, uh, the way marriage is going to be 100% successful is when we do it His way. Now, when God created marriage, let me tell you what marriage was not for. Love. Are you shocked by that? Being in love was not a part of marriage. Marriage. Now, this is my interpretation from my reading. You can go read it. You may come up with something else, and then share it with me. Right? I'm trying to line up with what Scripture says. From what I read, the purpose of marriage: replenish the earth, right? Build families, to produce something. Marriage is not about marriage. I hope y'all hear me. Marriage is not about companionship. Companionship is good. I am not trust and believe I'm not anti-companion. That ain't what marriage is about. Here's what God said. It's not good for man to be alone. I'm going to create for him a helper. He didn't say I'm going to create for him a lover. He didn't say I'm going to create for him a business partner. Although that's closer to helper than lover, right? But he said I'm going to create for him a helper. Why would he need help if he ain't had nothing to do? Help with what? Assignments. Marriage is supposed to be, number one, represents God's image in the earth. Okay, I'm going to go fast because I'm not doing deep dive on this part. Marriage represents God's presence in the earth. And then also, marriage is supposed to be the place where the deepest intimacy takes place. You can't get any more intimate than two people becoming one flesh. You understand what I'm saying? And then marriage, you're supposed to create something. We are created in his image. God is a creator. So we are many creators. And we're supposed to create something in the earth that wasn't there if it wasn't for this union. So you guys getting married is supposed to produce something to bring God glory. What does it mean to bring him glory? To shine a light on his marvelousness. That's a good way to say it, right? But over here in 2024 in America, marriage is about me. Not only is it about me, it's about what makes me feel good. This is my challenge as a therapist and a coach. Folk come into my office and they want me to help them enjoy marriage without them changing. They want me to help them. They want me to teach them skills, how to communicate better, how to resolve conflict when there's a deeper issue of your limited beliefs about yourself. That's it is so you may not have a communication issue. You got an identity issue where you don't know who you are. So that when you show up to communicate, you don't show up. Marriage is about partnership. So think about this. If we're married and we're partners, what are we partnering on? What are you and your husband, you and your wife, what are y'all building? What are you building outside of your family? What are you building for society? Anything. How are you contributing to humanity? Well, that's too big. I just want to like live, enjoy my big house and my car, and yeah. That's what we think in America, right? But let me get off of that because I know that makes y'all uncomfortable, right? But here's my point on that one. Marriage is not the place you come to for happiness. Okay? Stop looking to your partner to make you happy. Now, let me say this. What most often turns marriage on its side? What makes marriage go sideways? You've heard me say it before, the evil twins. The evil twins, and I recently discovered, I didn't even know. Well, yeah, I'm gonna put it this way. I didn't even know they got a cousin who is just as destructive as them. So the evil twins are fear and pride. Their evil cousin is shame. And really, I might need to call them the evil triplets. But these three will wreak havoc on your life and your marriage. What is pride? Pride is when I'm overly focused on me, my needs, my wants, my hurts, my desires, right? So when I'm walking in pride, I can't walk in love. You're going to do one or the other. And pride and fear always. Somebody say always in your mind. I can't hear you, but just say it. Always run together. Always. When you see pride, fear is the one that opened the door for pride to walk in. And the danger of pride is that you'll be walking in it and not know it. You think you're going the right way. By the time you find out, destruction done showed up. So how then do you avoid it? You got to be teachable. Right? And then what does fear do? Fear prevents you to show up. See, from showing up because you got a childhood where stuff didn't happen to you. Now you have these limiting beliefs. So you show up to marriage and you're afraid to express yourself. You're afraid to say no. You're afraid to disappoint your spouse, right? So you end up people pleasing. So you're being governed by fear, which then causes you to walk in pride, which also then means love is nowhere around. But you'll act lovingly because we know how to be good to people, but it's not love. And I thought about if I wanted to do a deep dive on love tonight. I don't think I do because that'll take us. I could spend the whole time on that. But let me say this, though. Love is not just for your pleasure. As a matter of fact, love is primarily not for your pleasure. Primarily. Okay. So the cross don't make me feel good. Like the cross don't make me warm and fuzzy. Here's what the Bible says. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. Gave him up to die. Listen, I can't even express my gratitude for that gift, for that kind of love towards me, but it don't make me warm and fuzzy. God doesn't speak my love language, right? Love languages really should be called feel-good languages because that's all it is. It's not about love. If it was about love, think about it. If it was about love, then, so let's pick, what's your favorite one? Acts of service? Let's go with that. So let's say acts of service is my love language, right? Meaning, when I get acts of service from you, when you serve me, I light up like a Christmas tree. Now, watch this. You have the behavior that we're labeling acts of service. What if, in my mind, I don't see that as acts of service? Guess who's not going to light up as a Christmas tree? Me. Why? Because how I feel is controlled by my internal control panel, not my partner. And why am I saying that? Because some of you are blaming your partner for not loving you when really you should be saying, well, you're not making me feel good. Your partner can't love you today and then not love you tomorrow and then love you the next day. Like, love doesn't work that way. So if they cared about you Tuesday, they probably still care about you Thursday, even though they're acting a butthole. There's a different explanation for why they're acting that way. But see, here's what we do in marriage. We don't, I did want to talk about this. We look at the first layer, we look at the first thing we see, and we make a decision. And the people that I know it ain't, but it's not that many, right? It's like relative to the whole world. But still, the people who work with me, I don't understand how you guys are still stuck on believing what you see. It's one of the most common things I preach. You don't see what you think you see. You don't know what you think you know. And still, folk will see their partner frowned up and say, they mad. How do you know? You have no idea. You need to ask more questions, right? But here's what we do. We see something, and then we make a decision. We don't ask. We make a decision on what that is, and then we react to the decision we made about them without asking them. And now we're bitter and mad. They don't know why we're distant. And then when we talk, you go off. And they're like, well, I didn't even know I did anything. Mm-hmm. So let me share something I learned last week. To this point of only looking at, and this is a part of pride too. Okay, so if I wasn't clear, pride will blind you. Pride will make you think you are going the right way. So watch this pride. This I learned this last week. So I like sharing. I like sharing. Sometimes I overshare. Like, I've gotten in trouble for oversharing. I'm sorry. But in my marriage, there have been times where I've blamed my wife for not loving me or for not being as connected to me because she don't share the way that I share. Like, in my mind, it's like, man, I'm trying to pick a lock to get inside. Like, and I'm just open. Like, I'm just open. Here's, I need you to pay attention to this part. The reason I was doing that is because I thought I was doing it because I love her. So if I love you, then I'm gonna share me with you. So I'm open. And I thought that was the reason why I was sharing. Now, if that's the reason I'm sharing, then it makes sense that when she's not sharing, I'm thinking she don't love me the same. But here's what I discovered. Clifton Brantley gonna share regardless. So when I found this out, I asked my wife, I said, babe, and I explained all that, what I just said to you. Then I said, as a matter of fact, babe, what you think? I said, if I wasn't married and I lived in this house by myself, do you think I would still be sharing? She said, yep. I said, who I'm gonna be sharing with? She said, yourself. I said, right. I will be walking around the house talking out loud because it's what I do. Here's my point. I thought that I was showing this behavior because I love her, but I wasn't. I was doing it because it's me. So then, it's incorrect for me to say that she's not doing it because she don't love me. Because the reason I was doing it wasn't because I love her, it's because of who I am. I can't make it any plainer than that. I hope you got that, right? There are many things that you do. Kiss your partner when they first wake up in the morning. Fix his dinner before he get home. You think all of that stuff you do is because you love them. I'm not saying that you don't, but what I am saying is you would be doing that anyway because that's you. So let them be them. Let them love you how they love you. That's not what we want. We want love languages. I need you to figure me out, learn what makes me feel good, and then do that. That's what we want. I'm telling you, that's a weak marriage. Love does its greatest work in difficulty. Its greatest work is done in difficulty. But we just want to feel good. Okay. So stop punishing your partner for not loving you in a way that's recognizable to you. Wisdom says you learn your partner and how they love, and then you fit yourself into that. Because if you're going to give them a script, hey, now this is how you light up all this is how you make me light up like a Christmas tree. Oh, really? Okay. And then they'll do that and just put you on the side. I know I may be I may be oversimplifying it, and I may be a little dramatic, but not much. You can't be driven by how you feel, just in your life, period. It's one of the greatest lessons I've learned. You cannot be driven by how you feel. Okay, so now next thing, what else causes marriage to go sideways? Emotional immaturity. So when I say marriage is not for the weak, that's one of the things I'm talking about. Marriage is for adults. So many children in adult bodies get married every weekend in Houston. Every weekend. They don't a bit more know what they're doing than the man in the moon, as my daddy would say. They don't. How do I know? Because nobody teaches us how to do marriage. We think, I love you, you love me. We got a little bit of chemistry. Boom, let's get married. We'll make it to happily ever after. How? Well, who gave you the map to get to happily ever after? How you gonna get there? Happily ever after comes after pride and emotional maturity. You gotta deal with the stuff, and especially since, let me talk to the men real quick, since this is Manhood Monday, brothers. Like, you've heard me say, most of what we need for marriage, most of what we need for life, is stolen by the time we're 5 years old. Right? I can't say I hurt. I can't say I'm afraid. I can't say it's hot in here. Jesus, if I turn the fan though, I don't know why my eye's been running, so I'm gonna be hot. So I'm just gonna get cut short because I'm hot in this jacket. It's already been 22 minutes. Okay, what was I at? I forgot. So, this heat it distracted me. It's like all of a sudden I feel like I'm on fire, but I see I'm not smoking, but it feels like I am. All right, I think I'm gonna have to turn the fan on. It's too hot. Y'all gonna have to hold on. Hold on for a second. Your boy hot. Like, whew. Fire like cayenne up in here, boy. All right. Okay. Ooh, that feels good. Amen. All right, let's let it cool off for a second, and I'm gonna try to remember what my point was. If anybody's on here, and you put it in the chat. Y'all can tell me while I'm trying to think of it. I don't even have my chat up. Well, so anyway, comments and reactions. Let me see. Watch out to the other side if they want to participate in that. Yeah. I don't know if that was it, Miss Tiffany, but that is kind of where I was at. So I'm gonna go with that. Pay attention to your partner. Learn how they give love and get into that. I think I was past that. I don't know. Anyway, I was on emotional maturity. Was I on emotional maturity? If it comes to me, I'll come back. I'm gonna go to the next thing. Expectations. Not long ago, I did a video called "Why Are Married Folks So Needy?" And here was the point of that video. Stop elevating your expectations to the place of needs, because they're not needs. But when you elevate them to needs, you're going to be walking in idolatry and you're going to tear up your marriage. Okay. But let me pull it back though, because I don't even want to go there yet. I don't want to talk about idolatry because that needs to be its own lesson. But let me say this though, before I leave off idolatry. I don't know if that word scares you, but I am telling you, if you want to do marriage well, you better remove your spouse from the throne of your life, or you will suffer greatly. God says, I, the Lord your God, does not change. Therefore, you sons of Jacob are not consumed. Here's the point. God said he doesn't change. And when you read the Bible, one of the things that makes God turn red, figuratively, right? He doesn't have a body. Idolatry. God is serious about idolatry. It's the first commandment. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. And see, you think because you don't have a little Buddha doll that you're fine. No, no, no. The way you are afraid of your husband, the way you are afraid of your wife, the way you can't speak to them like they're a regular human, the way you can't say no to them like they're a regular human. You better be careful. I'm telling you. I'm telling. It was earlier this year when I discovered that idolatry actually was the missing piece in my whole practice to help couples get over the hump. But again, I just want to share that with you. I'm not going to go deep into that. But these expectations, right? So here's what I tell people all of the time. Divorce your idea so you can stay married to your reality. All of us come to marriage with an idea of what a husband or wife is. You had your idea before you married them. And now you're trying to fit them into your idea box. They will never fit. Wasn't designed for them. You need to divorce your idea that you came to the marriage with so that you can learn to love your reality. Or I say it this way, divorce the fantasy in your head so you can love the stranger in your bed. Because if you don't, all you're going to do as you're looking at them. So when people come to my office and, like, especially like the first session, right? Wife is going in and, and he did this and he did that, that's not what a husband does. I said, who told you that? I always say, as soon as they say, I said, who told you that? Who told you wives don't do that? You're saying you don't think a husband or wife do that or should do that, but you got one that's doing it. Divorce the idea in your head so you can learn to love the stranger in your bed. Now, if you're in a toxic relationship, I forgot to say this, I ain't even talking to you. Like if y'all cursing each other out and calling each other names and hitting each other, you need it. This not for you. Okay, this not for you. You need something else. But if you're in a regular relationship with someone who seems like they're evil, because listen, I believe all of us at some point in marriage, your spouse probably thought something wrong with you. Like no. No, I mean something really, really wrong with you. If you hadn't had that thought, you ain't been married long enough. Not to a human being. You ain't been married to a human being long enough. Listen, your expectations are going to kill you. So don't expect things from your spouse that they never signed up to give you. For example, wait a minute, let me think, because I don't have notes, but I also don't want to get in trouble with my wife. I was trying to think of an example I could share. And the one I'm thinking of, I don't think I could share. And I can't think of a fake one on the spot, so never mind. But I'm telling you, look, learn your spouse. I can say this. I can't say this. Here I thought of one. So vaguely, I'll speak vaguely. There was a time when I was expecting my wife to show up a certain way. I really was. And watch this, I thought it was like, who wouldn't? Like, it's common sense. And why wouldn't you? But the more I tried to fit this baby into my idea box, and see, she's fighting not to be in the box, but I thought it was because she's just being stubborn and I got to push harder. No, it's because I don't fit in this box, sir. And then I had to realize, oh, that's not the model I chose. And I am more than sure my wife has been like, oh, that's not the model I chose. Here's the thing. The reason I say divorce your idea so you can stay married to your fantasy, because folk end up divorcing not stay married to your fantasy, stay married to your reality. Folk end up divorcing their reality. And then they go look for, they keep their idea, they keep their fantasy, and they go looking for somebody else. Listen, nobody's going to fit in it. Not nobody. Nobody. Nobody's going to fit in it. Okay? So stop looking for, all we have on this planet are broken people. You get rid of one, you're going to choose another one. Or be single with you. You broken too. Do some work. I'm just telling you, Divorce your idea so you can stay married to your reality. All right. I probably should have did notes on expectations because I have a lot of stuff on expectations, but it ain't coming to me right now. But here's what I heard Dr. Rick Mark say, and I like this. The only expectations that I don't know how you say it actually, but here's the point. The only expectations that we can have in marriage are the ones we both agree on. We both agreed you're gonna cook Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm gonna cook Tuesday, Thursday. We both agreed I'm gonna work out. You're not gonna work out. Otherwise, why expect it? That actually brings me to another point. That's important because if I struggle with this, am I still struggling with it? That's a good question. I don't know. I think I'm. I don't know. We'll find out later. But anyway, if you struggle with this, like I did, you might need some clarity and direction here. Uh, it is normal. I didn't know it was normal. I ain't gonna lie. I did not know it was normal, and it frustrated me. But watch this. It frustrated me because of pride. But it's normal for you and your partner to grow at different paces. I know. I didn't like it either. But the reality is, here's what I told my wife. I think I told her this last week. So I'm further along in my spiritual walk than my wife, right? But here's what I realized. I've been in church since I was 7. I'm 52. The stuff that she going through, I've been through already in like not elementary school, middle school, high school, like the things that she's discovering, and like I wonder if this is true, and like just trying out other things other than is Christianity really it? Not saying my wife is doing that, but here's my point. I done been through the beginning stages, and now that I'm over here and I'm all mature, and I get her, I found myself, you know, you fascinated by that, girl? Come on. Girl, come on. But here's what I had to realize. Nobody was doing you like that when you was growing, sir. That's who you chose. That's. Did you see something different when you got married? I'm talking to you now. I ain't talking to me. Did you see something different when you got married? And watch this. If you say you did, I can almost guarantee you didn't. You didn't look hard enough, or you didn't pay attention, or it was in there, it just hadn't come up yet. See, we think we get married and then we think, oh, you changed on me. Probably not. Now, I have met some people. I'm not gonna lie. I have met a few couples where the person they flat out lied. They literally lied. Right? That's different. That ain't most folks' reality. Pretending to be something that you're not, that ain't the kind of lie I'm talking about. All of us do that. Okay? You do it too. You do. When y'all went on that first date, except my boy, what's his name? If you watching, I can't. I see your eyes with. I can't. Why I can't pull up your name? I'm sorry. So I guess I can't call your name today. But anyway, the expectations that you brought with you, you need to check to see if you have the partner that can do that. Right? See, I said a few weeks ago, not every marriage is going to get to championship status. Why? Because not everybody has championship players. Now, you may not have drafted an all-star. You may have thought you did, but you didn't. That's fine. Here's the thing. What's the work ethic like? If y'all work on your game, you can get to all-star status, but not. And I was making a point of growing at different paces. So like you guys when you guys are in therapy, I had a wife, she said, I'm reading a book and I'm growing, but he not, and he won't do the work. And then she said, that's not fair because when he don't do the work, I suffer. I said, welcome to marriage. I don't, I don't have nothing else for you. That's welcome to marriage. That is true. That's unfair. But see, God made marriage between a man and a woman, both with free will. And he won't allow you to violate their free will just like he won't, although we try to. Like we try to control our partners, but that's not God's design. Right? Here's the thing that I realized the other day. When was this? This was Saturday. I sent this to I just remember this. I sent this to my son. I texted to him. I was like, son, I think I just had a bar for a thought. I'm trying to talk like these kids, right? But let me read what I said. I don't have to read it because if I don't get it right, I can tell you the thought. Here's the thought. Uh, the fewer your expectations, the deeper your love can be. The fewer your expectations, the more love you'll probably show. You want me to show you? What's the reason that an EMS worker or a firefighter can show up to a scene and the guy's drunk? He's cut, but he's drunk. He don't have any weapons, but he's drunk. And he cursing the firefighter out. How is it possible for the EMS worker, the firefighter, to still help him while he is verbally attacking them? And he seemed unfazed by it. Now, whether he's fazed by it, I don't know. But he's still able to do his job. Why? Because he don't expect the injured person to show him love. He don't even expect respect from him. But see us. That's why it was so much easier for you. I'm not going to like this part. That's why it was so much easier for you to love your spouse in the beginning. Because your expectations were lower. But as y'all did marriage and the expectations rise, now so does the difficulty in loving. Here's what I mean. You expect your husband to take you out on dates and he don't take you? Well, how that's going to play out? You going to keep on serving him? Because you do know that Christian love is service, right? Christian love does not look like Valentine's Day. Ladies, y'all need to get over that. I know you won't, so I'm not even going to bother that. But that Valentine thing threw me off. On to the next one. So let me say this about this came to me because I had a client early this morning and I said I wanted to talk about this, but this is a part of marriage too. Now, this is for the fellas. This for the husbands. The wives not gonna like us. So if y'all on here and y'all listening, I'm sorry. Just know these are not my words. Okay? These are not my words. But y'all do need to hear it though. Okay. This is Proverbs 21 and 9. Look at the folk logging off. Look at that. Look at that. I'm kidding. I don't know if anybody logging off. I like being silly. Here's what Proverbs 21:9 says. It is better to live alone. That means by yourself. In the corner of an attic than with a quarrelsome wife in a lovely home. Solomon says it's better to live alone in the corner of an attic than with a quarrelsome wife. That means a wife who likes to fight, a wife who likes to argue, a wife who's always at your neck. It's better to live alone in a corner, in an attic, than to be in a lovely home with somebody like that. I didn't write it. It was in there when I woke up. But if that wasn't enough, that was Proverbs 21:9. If you keep reading that same chapter and you get down to verse 19, he says it again. The same chapter, but he says it a little differently. I think he's trying to make a point. He says it's better to live alone in the desert. You ever been to Vegas when it's hot? I think my daughter's in Vegas right now. Hot. Vegas is in the desert. Solomon says it's better to live alone in the desert than with a quarrelsome, complaining wife. What's the point? Don't be quarrelsome. What does that mean? Stop nitpicking at everything. Like I've never used the I don't think I've ever used the word nagging to describe anybody I've ever been with. Like women are afraid of that word, nagging. Okay, fine. Stop complaining about everything. Like everything. Like you. Some of y'all wives, fellas, can I go in for a second? Okay. So the fellas told me to give y'all this. Truth is, I'm tired. Here's the thing. Like you can't never be happy. You got to complain about everything. Everything that brother do. Why you come home late? Oh, you home early. You gonna clean the garage? Why you didn't cut the grass yesterday? The trash overflowing if you don't. And then you mad when he don't want to take you on a date. Let's not nah, I ain't gonna do that one. The enemy tried to get me in trouble. Or maybe it was God, since we're talking about marriage. Don't get me to talking about sex. I'm not. That's too big of a topic for what I'm doing here. We would need a lot more time. Okay. Um, Marriage is not for the weak. So, how do you have a successful marriage then? Because I don't want y'all to feel like I'm just being ugly and beating y'all down. And you tell me, okay, so how do you, number one, humility. You have to be humble. What does that mean? Here's what humility means: not thinking too highly of yourself, not thinking that you're the end all be all. Humility says when your partner say, "Hey, you're coming across a little such and such." Humility makes you say, "Am I? Huh? I don't think I am, but let me check it out." But pride says, "No, I'm not." Pride says, "Well, what about you?" Pride says, "Leave me alone." Right? Another, and that leads me to this one. I'm talking about things that make it good. Well, I got one more that make it bad though. Defensiveness. I didn't make that up. John Gottman said that. But why am I bringing it up? Because I see it a lot in my office. Right? Being defensive, it's just destructive. Okay. So I'm sorry. Back to the good things. Humility. What else? You got to have a marriage mindset. I haven't talked, I don't think I've talked about the marriage mindset this year. I talked about it all last year. But the marriage mindset includes these 8 things that you need to embrace. Humility is one of them. You need to embrace so that you can have a marriage centered a marriage centered union. Yeah, some folk are together. They have a union, but they're not united. Right? What's the marriage mindset? Humility, respect, empathy. Um, I can't remember all of them, but here's my point though. Personal development. That's one of the biggest ones. Personal development is the, I believe, the thing that determines whether or not someone is marriage material. Not whether or not they can communicate, not whether or not they have childhood issues, not whether or not they got anger issues, not whether or not uh, they own. I don't know about drugs. I don't have experience with that, so let me not say that. But here's the thing: uh, uh, the thing that makes you marriage material is being committed to the practice of personal development. Because whatever you come with, if you're committed to growing, you're gonna work on it. And if you're not committed to growing, you are in error. You are acting anti-God. Because watch this: everything that God creates in nature grows continuously. Mhm. You remember what he said at the church? I think it was Church of Laodicea. I'm not sure, but I think he said, "I know your deeds. You're not hot or cold. I wish you was either one, but because you're not, you make me want to throw up." Some of y'all make Jesus want to throw up because you're lukewarm. That's called average. God is anti-average. I heard Darius Daniels say, out of all the things that God uses to describe us, average ain't one of them. Never called us average. So why you want to settle for an average life or an average wife or husband? I told a couple today, because I say it all the time. This is my personal philosophy about marriage. Marriage costs too much to suck at it. I'm not doing that. Marriage costs too much time, effort, and energy. For me to be a sucky, I'm not done. I know I'm not perfect. I have a lot of work to work on, but I'm not. I'm not. My thing, I'm gonna be working though. Are you hearing what I'm gonna be working? I'm not gonna just go do something else. Like go play table tennis. They got table tennis in the Olympics. Go do something else. Marriage is not for the weak. Don't. Marriage is not the place you come just to chill. If you want to chill, do not tie your life to another human being. Unless they too want to chill. Y'all go chill somewhere on an island by yourself. Right? You non-chill folk. I guess I'm fussing again, huh? I'm sorry. You non-chill folk, stop getting with the ambitious folk. And you ambitious folk, stop being stupid and choosing folk that don't have ambition. I asked somebody last week. I said, how is it possible? I know I'm the therapist, but how is it possible that the black keep finding the white, that the X keep finding the Y? How do opposites keep finding each other? One person like to talk, one scared to talk. One like to have fun, one like to stay at home. How y'all keep finding each other? I I'm starting to believe, like, I know opposites attract in science, but I'm starting to believe that's true in real life. Like, almost every couple, one person likes a lot of affection, one person don't wasn't raised with affection. Like, are y'all the same anywhere? But let me just say this: none of that means y'all can't make it. Even if you married, even if you married, I'll give you some hope. Even if you married someone, I told y'all this is gonna be long. You can check off if you want. It's 45. Even if you married someone and you believe it's not the best fit, right? Uh, Number one, you probably have an immature mindset because, again, the Bible does not address compatibility. And again, I'm not anti compatibility or companionship, but I'm saying, eh, it's not the end all be all. You guys can create compatibility. Did you know that? You can create it. So, uh okay. Okay. I think I got a signal to stop. So, I don't know if this is going to stay up because it really was all. No, it's going to stay up because there's something in here for somebody. And I'm sorry it's so discombobulated, right? I don't have any excuses. I don't have any. I could tell you what happened, but I've learned y'all don't care. And I wouldn't either. Like, I wouldn't either. So it's irrelevant. But I did want to come on here because I wasn't going to do it today, but I did want to come on here and just give you guys some wisdom, right? You're hurting yourselves. You are expecting things from your partner that they probably don't have. Okay. Um, and let me say this too. It's dangerous. It's dangerous and unloving for your partner to bring you an issue. Talking about that defensive thing, because this is fresh, right? Bring you an issue and turn around and you give them your issue. And so then their issue never gets addressed. I can't tell you how many couples I got like that. I posted a couple of days ago, or maybe yesterday. Again, another situation. This happens frequently. A partner will ask for explanation. Why did you do that? When the person then gives the answer, the person who was asking for the answer don't change nothing about what they feel or think, which is an indication you wasn't asking for clarity because they told you why. You didn't say, "Oh, okay. Well, don't do that again." No, you didn't say, "Oh, okay." No, that's a sign that you are walking in pride. You are not looking to resolve anything. I think the way I said that, my couple probably gonna be like, "Hey, he talking directly to us." I ain't call your name though. Anyway, I tried to have a little fun and give y'all a little wisdom with some pops from the principal. But at the end of the day, man, listen, marriage works if you work it. Uh, and it's when I say it's not for the weak, man, I'm just telling you, like, people are crazy, including you, including you. I know I'm crazy. Y'all want to bring my wife on here? Because she will sign on the dotted line, crazy as a Bessie bug. But all of us crazy. And if you found somebody that's willing to put up with your crazy, then learn how to put up with theirs. Lower your expectations so that you can love them. I don't know if I finished that example. I was talking about the expectations and the EMS worker because I got distracted. I don't feel like I did, so I can talk about that just a little bit as I end. But when you expect things from your partner, the more you expect, the harder it's going to be love. That's all I'm saying. And the love that God wants us to have for our spouse. So you remember when a lawyer asked Jesus, "What's the greatest commandment?" What did he say? Relationships, love. Love God, love your neighbor. And then he painted a picture of what loving your neighbor looks like: inconvenience, one side giving, the other side benefiting. Now, uh, that's helping your neighbor or helping your wife. That can't be a perpetual state of a marriage. You might get married and it's one-sided. Listen, don't let your marriage still be one-sided. Like after years, that's like I use this analogy all the time. That's like, you get drafted by a team and you don't feel like you're good enough to be on that team, but oh man, I get to play. It would make sense for you to in the summer work on your game so that when you go to training camp, they be like, oh yeah, we glad we picked who we picked. Instead of being like, man, why we pick this person? Don't do that. If you already got the job, become good at it. Some of y'all are already married. Some of y'all already been chosen, but you still sitting on your loins. You ain't doing nothing with it. Grow. Are you being a blessing to their life? If you're not, why? Oh, because you're waiting for them to bless you. You're gonna hurt yourself. All right. So, my outro music. Hope this was helpful. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it made you think more than anything. Like seriously, I really hope it made you think. Marriage is God's idea. If you want to do it well, do it His way. You're going to mess up. You're going to fall. You're going to falter. But there needs to be more compassion, more love, more forgiveness. That's another thing. You can't do human relationship without forgiveness. I probably shouldn't say. Now, the more I think about it, this wasn't a good idea. Because there's so much that I could talk about marriage. So much. Like I didn't even mention forgiveness. I didn't mention intimacy. There's so much. But take this little bit that I gave you, and hopefully you can apply it. And just remember, there are several layers to everybody. What you see, like you see your partner mad, or you see them whatever, it may not be what you think. Ask them. Be curious about what's going on in their life. Okay? All right. I think that's it. Y'all take care.